How to lose that famous little belly. It seems like everything you do isn't enough, probably a bunch of diets: banana diet, low carb diet, ketogenic diet, protein diet. But the truth is, these diets aren't helping you, and on the contrary, they're probably harming you and further distancing you from the results you want. So today you'll learn 3 tips to lose belly fat quickly and healthily. I'll tell you here today. I'll even give you 3 tips. I'll mention 3 things that will help you a lot. I'll step away from the obvious because what's obvious you already know. Like, oh, to lose weight we need to eat healthy, we need to consume fewer calories than we expend, meaning there'll be a caloric deficit. For those who don't know, we gain weight when we consume more calories than we expend. So let's say, oh, this energy you consumed is in excess. Let's save it for later use. That's storing fat and gaining weight. And conversely, when we expend more energy than we consume, we gradually release energy from our reserves to use in our daily lives, meaning we lose weight. And I won't talk about those miraculous things either, the products and such, the slimming fruit. No, because no single food has the power to make someone lose or gain weight. There's no miracle. In fact, how crazy is that? Have you ever done anything to lose belly fat, to lose weight? I don't know, drank tea, used a sauna? Actually, using a sauna you lose water, not fat. Tell me in the comments here. Well, but let's get to the tips. Let's see if you're subscribed to this channel and give this video a like, because it's going to change your life and your body forever. So, this video deserves a big like and a bunch of comments from you, alright? Let's go. First tip. Eat foods that increase your feeling of fullness for longer. For example, when you consume any food that is a source of carbohydrates alone, whether it's healthy or not, for example, when you eat bread, fruit, potato, rice, which are carbohydrate-rich and healthy foods, or even when you eat sweets, chocolate, which contain a lot of sugar, it's a source of carbohydrates but not healthy. Your digestion is very fast. You eat and 10 minutes later you're hungry again. Even if you eat a plate of rice, for example, it won't take long for you to digest it. And what are the problems with this? First, you have a very fast digestion. So you live with that feeling of, I eat, but I'm always hungry, which generates a certain anxiety, a feeling of loss of control. But actually, you simply haven't eaten something that keeps you full for a long time. It's not just the volume of food, but the composition of that volume of food. You already know that carbohydrates alone don't work. I'm going to explain to you what you need to do. Moreover, staying hungry all the time, and constantly eating carbohydrates, leads to a feeling of food compulsion, a lack of control over food and your own body. Of course, the second thing that happens because of eating too many carbohydrates at once, and alone, is a large source of energy all at once in your blood. So, you eat carbohydrates, you digest them, and they go into your blood as sugar. Your body takes this sugar, this carbohydrate, this energy, and uses it for every cell in your body, for the cells in the tip of your nose, for the cells in your lungs, your heart, your brain. When it distributes it to all the organs and there's still some left because it was an excess all at once, then your body says, oh, let's save it for later. What does save it for later mean? As I said, storing it as body fat reserves means increasing your body fat. So, it's interesting that your digestion is gradual because you release energy slowly into the blood, and your body uses it, releases it, uses it, releases it appropriately. If you have a very fast digestion all at once, it goes too quickly into your blood, and your body won't know what to do with that excess because it doesn't even need it. In other words, your body will use what it needs and store the rest, causing an increase in body fat. So, if I shouldn't eat carbohydrates alone, what should I do and what should I eat with them? Protein-rich foods. This here is a rule for your life forever. This week I heard from several women telling me, your tip to include protein in every meal keeps me full all day. I no longer have that feeling of hunger, I no longer feel out of control. I stay full for longer and also lose weight, of course. Protein is important for muscle, for weight loss. What foods are sources of protein? All meats: red meat, pork, chicken, white fish, yellow cheese, light version. So, you take the standard light cheese, which means it has reduced fat, soy meat, whey protein, vegan protein. Soy protein is also a vegan protein. Egg. Oh, how could I forget the egg? I think that's it. I really wish people understood this. Dieting doesn't mean starving. No. If you're getting hungry, something's wrong. Actually, it's normal to be hungry, it's physiological. Your body's saying, hey, I need food. It's time for you to eat. Now, feeling hungry all the time or staying hungry because you think that's what will help you lose fat is a big mistake. I know you're afraid of eating and ending up gaining weight, of eating carbohydrates and ending up gaining weight. I see this every week in my weight loss training. I see the women in the training say, But do I have to eat all this to lose weight? Are you sure I'll lose weight? Sometimes they can't even eat everything because they say, my God, it's really a lot of food. Dieting doesn't mean eating little. No. The second tip: control cortisol levels in our body. Cortisol is a hormone. We all have it, we need to have it. I can explain a little better in another video. But if we have it at very high levels constantly, we can have several health problems and even difficulty losing weight. Cortisol is a hormone that we mainly produce throughout our day. When it starts to dawn, when there's light in the day, we start increasing our production of cortisol because it's a stress hormone that keeps us activated and ready to do our things throughout the day. As it starts to get dark, cortisol production decreases and melatonin increases, which is a hormone that makes us feel calmer. If you don't have good cortisol regulation, it will stay elevated more than it should all the time, even at night and so on. And what causes your cortisol to rise? Chronic stress. Now you must be thinking, oh, but my God, it's impossible not to get stressed. It really is difficult. And that's why we constantly need to be seeking ways to calm ourselves down and reduce our anxiety. Pray, therapy, books, videos, relax, reduce work overload when possible. We have phases in life. I know I can't tell you not to work anymore. We all have many stressful moments. Last week, probably, my dear, my cortisol must have skyrocketed. But they're phases. We reconnect with ourselves to try to reduce stress, reduce anxiety, and cortisol. Poor sleep, shifting day and night, disrupting sleep is also a major factor that alters cortisol because we have the circadian cycle. But we have a variation in hormonal production throughout the day that depends on sunlight. So, as I said, as the day clears up, cortisol increases, as daylight decreases, cortisol decreases, and melatonin increases. And several other hormones are also involved in this cycle. If you sleep during the day and stay awake at night, you disrupt the regulation of all these hormones. In addition, changing your sleep also makes you more stressed, which consequently increases your cortisol. Chronic stress and this increase in cortisol levels have been associated with difficulty losing weight, increased abdominal fat, increased hunger, increased cravings for junk food, increased emotional eating, resistance to weight loss, and changes in metabolism. And my third tip is to do aerobic exercises, cardiovascular exercises, biking, running, walking those stairs, jumping rope, I don't know, anything. Get your heart rate up so that you really feel tired. Maybe you're thinking, but I walk to work every day, I walk a lot. Or I'm traveling, I'm walking, does that count? No, especially if it doesn't raise your heart rate. You need to have your heart a little accelerated with that shortness of breath to feel that it was really an intense physical activity. A stroll in the mall doesn't count. Yesterday I talked to someone. I said, it's no use walking for 2 hours because you won't have a high caloric expenditure, and that wasn't an effort for you. What makes us increase our caloric expenditure, what makes physical activity make us spend a lot of calories, is a calculation that takes into account our heart rate. If you walked for 2 hours without raising your heart rate because it was a light walk, which is easy for you, buddy, you won't spend, 200 calories. While in 30 minutes of something intense, you could spend 300 calories. So it's a big difference. When comparing the caloric expenditure with strength training versus the caloric expenditure with aerobic physical activity, it's very discrepant. Both are important. Strength training makes us gain muscle mass. And the more muscle mass we have, the more we speed up our metabolism. And several studies have shown that people with more muscle mass have a lower chance of having certain diseases, have a higher quality of life because it's the muscles that make us sit in a chair, stand up, walk to the bathroom and back, bend down to pick up a child or something on the floor. So, when you compare elderly people or adults, one with muscle mass and the other without, look at the risks of diseases and quality of life between them. So, strength training will always be important, but here I want to emphasize caloric expenditure. If you want to lose belly fat, you also need to burn calories. That's what you need. And when comparing the caloric expenditure of a leg workout, strength training, legs. In other words, when training the lower limbs, the muscles are larger, so more energy is spent to do a squat than to do a bicep curl, which has a much smaller muscle. So, a leg workout which has a higher caloric expenditure, in 1 hour of training you spend 250-300 calories. And in 1 hour of running you spend 700. So, include high-intensity aerobic physical activity in your daily life, also strength training, but there's no use in doing your strength training burning calories. You'll sweat. Oh, by the way, just a note. Abdominal exercises don't reduce belly fat. They're essential because they strengthen your entire musculature. So, if you're going to do a squat, you need to have your abdomen strengthened so that you can squat without harming your spine. So, you need to have your abdomen strengthened to be able to squat without harming your spine, and it's very important for you to have hypertrophy of your muscle. So, as you lose body fat, that is, slimming down our fat layer, we start making the muscle underneath more visible, more pronounced. So, doing abdominal exercises will help you a lot with that sensation of definition. Well, I really hope that now you take these tips and put them into practice. Don't just watch this information here and be done with it. No. I want you to put it into practice so that you feel good about yourself, and I want you to tell me later. If you're getting results, comment here. I want to know that you're putting these tips into practice and feeling better about yourselves. Okay, leave a like on the video, subscribe. Take care, God bless, until next time.